to start off with, everybody else, if you've got your yoga blocks, if you put them like this on your mat, just lengthwise on the lowest setting, give it a go, see how it feels coming up to your blocks with your hips, and then you'll have to work out where's going to be most comfortable for you to come to lying on them. If you don't like it, don't do it. But if you have a little play with your back and your soles of your feet together coming into Baddha Konasana, it's a really nice chest opener, but you will have to jiggle the blocks around to find your sweet spot. Valerie, good idea. Try it with some cushions. See how it feels. Any back pain, obviously remove the cushions, because it does like tilt your pelvis up, so you're arching your back. So see how you get on. And if you think, I don't like the block under my head, you can always remove one block and let your head fall back and just have one block underneath your spine. It's quite a nice pose. It should feel quite good. And take some nice deep breaths. And long, slow exhales. Deep breath in. And long exhale. One more deep breath in. And exhale. Bringing your hands to your thighs, just gently bring your knees together. If you're on a block, press into your elbows to lift yourself up and just move the block to one side for now. And then just come to lying on your back with your knees bent. Have your knees dropping in together and your feet mat width apart. Have a little reset of the hips, maybe taking a little rock of the pelvis from side to side. Maybe a little reset of the shoulders. Palms are facing upwards. A couple of breaths here. Just enjoy your knees supporting your legs. Relax the pelvis. Relax the back. Big breath in. And long, slow exhale. Walk your feet a little bit closer together and separate your knees, and then bring your feet in as close to your bottom as possible so you can tap your heels with your fingers. And first of all, just draw your lower back into the mat so you're tilting your pelvis. And as you exhale, arching your back. Little careful pelvic tilts. Valerie, take care with your back on this one. Don't come up too high. Just stick with the little gentle pelvic tilts maybe. Everybody else, pressing into your heels, start to roll your spine up one vertebra at a time, coming halfway up your back, and exhale, rolling down one vertebra at a time. Inhale, press the lower back into the mat, the mid back, and then coming up maybe onto your shoulders, lift the hips. And exhale, lower your mid back, your lower back, your hips. And arch your back a little bit, tilt the pelvis. Next, big inhale, one vertebra at a time, coming up onto your shoulders. And then walk your arms underneath you, interlace your fingers. Move your upper arms so your triceps, your biceps are rolling out. And really press into your arms, press into your hands, lifting your hips up. You can stay here. If you want to have some support and you've got a block, you can bring your block underneath your sacrum and prop your sacrum on the block and relax into the pose. Or on a lower block, whatever's going to feel good for you. Or just pressing into your feet, pushing your hips up, and keep the breath moving. Tuck your chin a little bit if you're up in the full pose. Hands together. Keep pressing the arms into the mat. Keep pressing into the feet to lift the hips. We're just going to stay here for a couple more breaths. Keep the breath moving. One more deep breath in. And as you exhale, releasing the hands, lowering the spine one vertebra at a time, down to the mat. Windscreen wiper your knees from side to side, easing out the lower back. Gently, carefully. Draw in the Mula Bandha, your root lock, underneath you. Engage your Uddiyana Bandha, pulling in your core muscles. And then taking your right knee in towards the chest. Really squeeze the right knee in and extend the left leg long. Holding onto the right knee with the right hand, draw it up towards the right shoulder. Press the left leg away, flex the left foot. Keep pulling the knee up towards the right armpit, the right shoulder. And then taking the right knee in the left hand, keep the knee quite high, so don't lower it. Keep it tucked up high. Just pull it across, pulling it over and over to the left-hand side. It doesn't need to come down to the ground. Gaze is towards the right hand. Keep pulling the knee up. You're looking for that stretch in the hip. And release, coming back to center. Hug the knee in, lift the head and shoulders. Tap your nose to your knee. And exhale, release. Release the right leg, draw the left knee in, pulling the knee into the chest. Really pull it in, squeeze it into the chest. And then draw it over to the left armpit, towards the left shoulder. Hold on with the left hand, squeezing it in. Extend the right leg long. Flex your right foot, pull the toes towards you. And then right hand takes left knee, keeping the knee up really high. You're just going to travel over to the side, releasing the left knee over to the right side. Mine's nowhere near the ground, but I'm pulling on it, hugging it up towards my chest. And exhale, release. Hug both knees in, lift your nose up, tap your nose to each knee, and keeping your shoulders lifted, holding on to your knees, starting to roll up and down in a little ball, up and down your mat, and eventually coming up to your seated pose. Crossing the legs, finding your comfortable seat, bringing the hands to heart center. So let's engage our bandha again. So from your bottom, coming forward underneath you, squeeze those mula bandhas, lift that pelvic floor, traveling up in front of you past the pubic bone to your navel. Uddiyana, I've forgotten how to speak. Your bandha, drawing the core up and in, nice strong base. Draw the thumbs down to between the breastbone. Elbows out to the side. As you inhale, keep the palms together. As you reach up, look up. Keep those palms together, shoulders pulling away from the ears. And exhale, hands to heart center, chin to chest. Inhale, reach up, maybe the tiniest back bends. And exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, reach, press the palms together, draw the shoulders down away from the ears. And exhale, chin to chest. Bringing your arms up, shoulder width apart, reach with the fingertips, pull down with the shoulders. Pull that core in as we fold to the left. Keep the hands shoulder width apart, straighten those arms, Anne. Inhale, center, exhale to the right. Really reach long with the arms, reach. And inhale, center. We're going to start to shift our weight forward. So keeping the back long, keeping the arms long, reaching, chin drawing down as your hands come down to the ground. We're just going to creep the fingertips forward as far as they can go. Keep the hips firmly on the mat. Keep creeping those fingertips forward. You'll feel a pull on your lower back. And then keeping the arms lifted, just lower the head between the arms. Inhale, lifting the head. Creep the fingertips forward and exhale, lower the head between your arms. Keep the hips grounded. Inhale, looking up, creep the fingertips just a tiny fraction more. And exhale, lower the head between the arms. Breathing here, pressing into the ground, pushing your hips back, shoulder blades engaged behind you. And just breathe. On your next inhale, walking both hands over to the left. Keep the hips firmly grounded. Fingertips creeping over to the left as far as they can go. And then relax the head between the arms. On every inhale, creep those fingertips a bit further forward. On every exhale, relaxing shoulders and head. Check that your hips are still in contact with the mat. One more deep breath in here. Exhaling. And then walking your hands to the center and over to the right, stretching out the left side body. Creep those fingertips forward. Relax the head and shoulders. Inhale a tiny bit further with the fingers. Exhale, relax the shoulders and the head. One more breath in as the fingers creep just 2 more millimeters. Exhale, relax the shoulders and the head. Enjoy that stretch down the left side body. And then slowly, carefully walking your hands back to center. Walk them back towards you so you push yourself into an upright pose. Bringing the hands behind you, fingertips pointing forwards. As you inhale up, lift the hips, lower the head, press hard into your hands. On your knees and your hands, lift those hips higher. Lift the chest a little higher. And exhale, releasing down. Beautiful. I'm just going to shed a layer. I'm getting quite warm. So, on your mats, hands in front of you, rolling over the knees, bringing your feet out behind you, setting up in your tabletop pose. The belly drops, lift the hips, lift the tailbone, press into the hands. I really want to see a nice dip in your lower back. As you exhale, arching up, pressing into the knees and the hands, drop your chin to your chest. Inhale, lower the belly, lift the tailbone, gazes up, press harder into your hands. Exhale, arching up, really press into your knees. Feel the vertebrae of your lower back expanding, stretching, releasing. One more deep breath in, looking up. And exhale, arching, lift, 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 lift. Now keep the lift in your back and just start to drop your hips down towards your heels. Don't move your hands. Drop your hips to your heels. Rotate your arms so the creases are pointing forwards. Lower your arms in train track pose. Rolling that pea or ping pong ball along the mat towards your hands. Squeeze the elbows towards each other as you lift up into your cow pose. Exhale, arching, really push even harder this time. You really want to feel the lower vertebrae stretching and expanding as you pull your belly in. Slowly lower your heels down, hips to your heels. Rotate the arms so the creases are pointing forwards. Pull the elbows towards each other as you lower them to the mat. Rolling your nose along the mat till you reach your hands. Press the elbows towards each other as you lift up. It should feel quite strong on your triceps. Exhale, arch. Keep the breath in as you lower. Rotate your elbows down to the mat. Rolling towards your hands and inhaling back up. I'm going to come and watch you doing a couple more rounds of that at your own pace. I want to make sure everyone has nailed this. Inhaling up, arch, arch, drop your head a bit more, Valerie. And then hips to heels, super slowly with control. Rotate the arms, draw those elbows towards each other. It should feel strong. And coming up. And one more round. Arch the back, drop the head. Push into your knees to get that lovely space in your spine. Lowering your hips to your heels. Slowly with control coming forwards. And we're all going to meet back in our tabletop pose. Finding a neutral pose. So just pulling the belly in a little bit, pressing into the hands and knees. Neck is long, gaze is down towards the mat. We want that really nice alignment. Extending your right leg behind you, press the heel away. Take a little rock backwards and forwards a couple of times. And then slide your left hand in front of you on the mat. As you inhale, lift the hand, lift the leg. Have a look behind you. Make sure the leg's not kicking out to the side. You want heel, knee, hip alignment. Arm is long, reaching forward as your leg is pulling back away from you. Reaching, 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 drawing in the core. Engage your bandha as you bend the right knee. Reach behind you with the left hand, take hold of the foot. As you inhale, kick, kick, kick on the foot, arching, looking up in a little back bend. This should feel nice for your back, Valerie. Don't do it too strongly though. You want to keep it nice and gentle for you. Lift that knee a little bit higher. Kick that foot a little bit harder against the hand. And releasing, hand and knee to the mat. Give your right hand a little shake, quite strong on the wrist. Maybe make a fist, clench your fingers, releasing any tension coming to the other side. So first of all, left leg reaching long behind you. Take a little rock backwards and forwards on that foot. Getting that ankle, the whole foot nice and stretched. Left hand under left shoulder as your right arm slides along the floor, little finger touching. Draw in all of your Mula Bandha, your Dhyani Bandha, and as you inhale, reaching with the right arm, press the left heel away from you. Flex the left toes towards you. Someone's pulling your right arm forward. Someone else is pulling your left leg backwards. Feel that stretch. Keep breathing. Don't hold the breath. And then bending left knee, reaching behind you with the right hand. Kick. Kick into the foot. Kick against the hand. Lift that left knee. And enjoy that stretch. Aiming to lift that leg high. Keep pressing the foot against the hand. Keeping your balance, your core keeping you nice and strong. And slowly releasing, coming down to the mat. Keeping your knees where they are and your hips over your knees. Just start to walk your hands forward until they won't go any further. And then sliding your chest, your forehead down to the mat, coming into your puppy dog pose. So creep those fingers forward, draw the shoulder blades together behind your back. Lowering your chest down to the mat, quite a strong back bend, so take care, Valerie. Enjoy that sensation strong across the tops of your shoulders, your upper back, but a lovely middle back stretch. Deep breath in, every exhale, can you draw the chest down a tiny bit more? Couple more breaths in this bend. And then slowly walking your hands back to the top of your mat. Fingers spread wide, tucking your toes and coming into a bent leg downward dog. And just pedaling out one leg at a time, stretching out the hamstrings. Maybe a little twist of the hips. Maybe a little bend at the shoulders. Just easing out any little nooks and crannies, any little bits that are feeling tight. And then coming to your still dog, pressing your heels towards the mat. Fingers spread wide, push into your hands to lift the hips, chest towards the thighs. I'm going to stay here for 5 breaths. Keep pressing into the hands as you inhale and exhale, lifting the hips, releasing the heels every exhale. 2 more breaths. Last time, deep breath in and slow exhale. And then with bent knees, walking your feet up towards your hands at the top of your mat, coming into your forward fold. So just interlace your fingers, put one hand on the inside of one elbow, hook the other arm across, so your arms are just going to support themselves. Keep the knees bent as you come into a fold, a ragdoll pose, maybe taking a little rock from side to side. This should feel nice on your lower back. And just letting gravity pull your upper body deeper into the fold. And then releasing your hands, keeping your knees nice and soft, starting to roll up one vertebra at a time, arms hanging, head dropped. As the head comes up, the arms reaching out, reaching up and into heart center. Beautiful. We're going to do a couple of rounds of sun salutation with some Utkatasana thrown in and some warrior poses just to get ourselves really nice and warm. So you can choose to either have your feet completely together. I personally find it hard to do my sun salutations with my feet completely together. I sort of lose my balance a little bit. So I tend to have my heels apart. So see what's going to work best for you. Let's get that little pelvic tilt as you draw down behind you and up underneath you. Kneecaps, fronts of thighs engaged, arms by the side, shoulders up, back and down. Strong Tadasana, strong mountain. Inhale, reaching the arms out, palms meet, kiss, and swan diving to your mat. Inhale, halfway, straight back. Exhale, stepping the right foot back. Keep the knee lifted, looking up, come up onto your fingertips. Keep that knee, the front knee should be in a 90-degree bend over the left ankle. Press that right heel away from you. Breathing for a moment, maybe lifting the head to look up. Right up on the top of your fingertips, press that right heel away from you. Strong pose. And then hands either side of the left foot, stepping the left foot back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin. Inhale, cobra. Squeeze the shoulder blades down either side of your spine. Tucking your toes, coming via the knees. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Just walk the legs out just a couple of times. Get that lovely hamstring stretch. And then step the right foot between your hands. Keep the left knee lifted, coming up onto your fingertips. Check your right knee is over the right ankle. Press the left heel away and maybe gazing up. Strong legs supporting you. And then stepping forward to your fold. Inhale, halfway flat back. Exhale, fold. Arms out to the side, belly pulled up and in as you lift up. Hands meet and swan diving back down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, stepping or jumping back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And everybody meeting in downward facing dog. Pedal out those legs. Give them a nice stretch. Lift the hips, pushing your chest between your thighs. Beautiful. Hands spread a little bit wider, deep bend of the knees. If you're jumping forward, you're going to shift your weight to your hands and jump forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold, nose towards the knees. Inhale, reverse your swan dive. And hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up, palms together, taking a back bend. Flip the palms, pull up the belly as you swan dive to your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold and stepping or jumping back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin or Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And meeting in downward facing dog. Another little pedal of the legs, pressing one heel at a time to the mat. Lift the hips up high, come up onto your tiptoes, really up onto your toes. Lift the hips, push the chest between your upper arms. As you exhale, lower the heels. Keep that core engaged. Press into your hands, engage your arms, your upper shoulders. Strong legs, lift the kneecaps, squeeze the fronts of the thighs. Gazes forward, deep bend of the knees as you jump to your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Arms reach out, reach up. Little back bend as your palms meet and hands into heart center. Really nice, everybody. Inhale, up And exhale, swan diving to the mat. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold, hands flat. Stepping or jumping back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Meeting in downward facing dog. Pedaling it out. Weights on the left foot as the right leg lifts up high to your three-legged dog. Lower that left heel if it's come up super high. Lift that right leg a little bit higher. Higher still, push the heel away from you. And then sweeping the leg between your hands, coming up to standing. Really nice, everybody. I'm going to come this way around so I can see you all. So you want a nice long stance with your legs. Warrior two pose. So front foot, that invisible line coming to the middle of your back foot. Shoulders and hips facing forward. Bending the knee a couple of times. Getting yourself ready to come into the pose. Adjusting your stance, the length on the mat, if you find you've got extra space. And then arms coming out. Draw the shoulder blades in, slide them down your upper back. Reaching with the arms, gaze towards the front hand. Drop that center of gravity a little lower perhaps. Check you can see your big toe. If you can't, just gently push the knee out so you can see that big toe. You need to keep your good alignment. And then reversing the front palm, coming into a reverse warrior. Reaching that hand up. Oh, I'm a bit wobbly today. Keep lifting up with the right hand, sliding the left hand down the leg or coming to the opposite hip crease. Watch your back on this one, Valerie, because it's quite strong. And releasing, coming back to your warrior two. Straightening that front leg, tipping forward, shifting, shifting, shifting. Hips go back, arm reaches forward, and then coming down to your triangle pose. Draw that left shoulder back, looking up towards the ceiling. Really nice, everybody. Lift that top arm up a little bit higher. Pull the core in to keep you nice and strong. Draw that left shoulder back a tiny bit more, perhaps. Nice. And then micro bend the front knee to come back up to your warrior two. Flip the right foot in, the left foot out, setting up on the other side. So first of all, hips and shoulders aligned. Bending that front knee, finding your leg length on the mat. And then coming into the pose, you're aiming for that 90-degree bend in the knee. Hips and shoulders aligned, arms reaching out. And then just turn your head to look towards the front hand. Drop the weight a little bit lower, perhaps some of you. Nice. And then flipping the front palm, reversing your warrior. Right hand creeping down the leg or coming behind you in a bind. Don't straighten that front knee. Keep that front knee nice and bent. Feel the stretch down the inner thigh of the right leg behind you. Reach that left arm a little higher, some of you. Stretch the side body. And inhaling, arms coming back to your warrior two. Straightening the front leg. Shift the hips back. The upper body coming forward, forward, forward. And then coming down to your triangle pose. I always keep a micro bend in my knee in triangle because I find it uncomfortable if I lock my knee. So have a little go, see what's going to feel better for you. Lift the right arm up, right up to the ceiling. Draw that right shoulder blade down behind you, turning the gaze to look up towards the hand. Keep the breath moving, don't hold your breath. Staying here for a couple more breaths. And reach that hand up a little higher. And then micro bending the front knee, coming back to your warrior two, flipping the foot in. And hands on hips, just have a little dance, a little wiggle, releasing any tension in your back. And then bringing your arms behind you, interlace the fingers, squeeze them together. And I want you to imagine someone is behind you, pulling your hands down. So you're coming into a little back bend. Take care, Valerie. Just drop the head behind you and keep pushing the hands down away from you. Leaning into the pose, squeezing your shoulder blades together. As you inhale, straightening up, Micro bend in the knees, lift the fronts of the thighs as you come into your forward fold. Arms coming high overhead. Beautiful. Deep breath in and long, slow exhale. Maybe the arms coming even higher. Pausing for one more breath, really letting your head drop down. Should feel a strong stretch on the back of your thighs, your shoulders, your arms. Engage the core, micro bend the knees, squeeze the glutes as you bring yourself back up to standing. Bring your hands to your hips. Give the hips another little wiggle dance. Should feel nice. And then engage the core. So let's get that little pelvic tilt thing going on again, pulling up your muscles in front as we start to come to a flat back. So try not to let your bottom go backwards. Imagine there's a brick wall behind you and you're hinging from the hips. Your bottom doesn't move. It's just gonna come forwards at the hips, coming to a flat back. Pause here. Neck is long. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Keep the breath moving. Squeeze the fronts of your thighs. Squeeze your glutes. And then bringing your hands to the mat. Just nod your head a couple of times. Releasing. Putting quite a bit of tension on our necks today. A little hip waggle. A little shoulder waggle. Enjoying that sensation of release. Right. Press hard into your hands, okay? Take a deep breath in, bend your knees. We're going to jump back to a plank. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and jump back to your plank. Knees, chest and chin, or Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhaling, coming to your downward facing dog. I've just realised I haven't given you a child's pose yet. So bring the knees mat width, big toes together, and take an extended child's pose. Either elbows lifted or lowered to the mat. You choose. Take a little breather. I don't want to be known as Andrea's slave driver. We all deserve a little break, a little rest. We're working so hard. Enjoy that stretch on your back, pulling your hips down towards your heels. Forehead on the mat. Relax the shoulders. And then lifting the arms, straighten your arms, sliding them forward, bringing your forearms to the mat and lowering your heels, coming into a Sphinx pose. I'm just going to turn around so I can see you all a little bit better. So make sure your elbows are under shoulders. Make sure your forearms are parallel. Press your hips into the mat. Press into your elbows to extend your spine nice and long. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. And just turn your gaze up to the ceiling. Don't want you crunching your neck at the back. Nice long neck. And you can either stay here, or if you want a bit more of a back bend, press into your hands, extending your arms, keep the hips on the ground, and exhale, lower. Inhale, stretching up, and lower. One more time. Inhale, press into the hands. Don't scrunch the back of your neck. Keep the neck nice and long. And exhale, lowering. And then bringing your chest, your forehead to the mat. Bring your hands so your elbows are in line with your shoulders and your hands spread quite wide. Forehead to the mat. Spread your fingers wide. Press into your hands and just start to peel your head, neck, shoulders, chest up from the mat. Valerie, take great care with this one. Just bring just come up a tiny bit. And exhale, lowering. So it's the same pose, but with wide arms. Inhale, slide your shoulder blades down your back. Press into the hands. Peel the forehead up. Peel the chest up. If you want that bit more, you can extend the arms long. But just lifting your chest is enough. Exhale. Lower the forearms, the chest, the forehead. Prepare. Slide your shoulder blades down either side of your spine. Pull them down and keep them down. Pressing into the hands. Peel the head up, the shoulders, perhaps the chest. Perhaps extending your arms long, lifting your gaze up to the ceiling. And exhale. Release the forearms, the chest, and your forehead. Bring your arms down behind you, palms facing up. Draw the feet together. We're going to have a little go at locust pose. So in a locust pose, again, it's a back bend. You want to draw your shoulder blades in and down either side of your spine while your forehead is still on the mat. Your hands might lift off the mat. So really engage your shoulders. Reach your hands behind you. Press like you're reaching for something down by your feet. Now push your hips into the mat. Press your feet into the mat. Lift the forehead. Lift the chest. And just come into a little back bend. Keep reaching with the hands. Keep those shoulders engaged. And exhale, release the chest. Release the forehead. Reset. As you inhale, slide the shoulder blades down behind either side of your spine. Reaching with the hands, press the hips into the mat. Lifting the head, maybe the chest. And exhale, release. You can stick with this if you want a little bit more. We're going to bring the feet into it. So shoulder blades sliding down and in. Hands reaching back. Head and chest peel. And legs lift. Keep the big toes touching. Lift your feet. Maybe lifting the knees, maybe your thighs. My thighs don't come off. Reach with the hands like someone's pulling them behind you. And exhale, release. A little reset, shoulders engaged, sliding down either side of the spine. Hands reaching behind you. Press your hips into the mat. Squeeze your glutes as legs and upper body lift. Reach with the hands, squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. And exhale, release. Quite a strong pose. Bring your hands underneath you. Make a little pillow with your hands. Rest your right cheek. Bend the knees and just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Little back release. And then turn your head so your left cheek is on your hands. Keep the legs windscreen wipering. Beautiful. And then bringing your hands either side of your chest, tuck your toes, pushing up onto your knees. We're going to do a little bit of work on camel. Valerie, take it really easy in this. Just do the gentlest of back bends. Maybe folding your mat to give yourself a bit of padding for your knees. Toes are tucked. So Valerie, hands either side of your spine. Support that lower back. And just coming into a very gentle back bend for you. Everyone else, we're going to start here. So shoulders up, down, either side of your spine. Strong shoulders. Squeeze the elbows together. Engage your glutes, engage your core. Lift that core, lifting out of the hips. And a very gentle back bend to start off with. Inhaling to come up. Exhale, keep squeezing the elbows towards each other, hips pressing forwards as you come down. Inhaling up, staying with that, or if you want that little bit extra, we've all been here before, I think. Hands rotating backwards to your heels, press the hips forwards and coming down behind you to your bend. Maybe coming lower than you did last time, maybe not. It's not the most comfortable of poses, I must say. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades together, lifting the hips. And when you've had enough, bringing one arm at a time up and over, flattening your feet, hips to heels, and taking a little balasana, arms behind you, palms facing up, forehead to the mat. Relax the shoulders. And maybe taking a little rock from side to side. Having a stretch all across the lower back. And then palms either side of your head, pressing yourself up, bringing your legs out in front of you, bringing the feet to Supta Konasana. Maybe, I can't see my strap, there it is. Maybe using the strap hooked underneath your feet to pull your heels in even closer to your perineum. See how that feels. Might be uncomfortable. What you don't want to have happen is you don't want this. You don't want a slumpy back. So if that's happening, bring the feet out. You want the nice straight back. So get that lift out of the hips and then maybe just pulling on the strap to bring the feet in, but keeping an erect spine. So shoulders sliding up, back and down your back. Nice, everybody. That's really nice. And then letting the knees drop out maybe a little bit more. Fraction more, Becky, just the tiniest bit. Yay! And release the strap. And bringing your feet to the end of your mat. Arms reaching in front as you C-shape your back. So get that curve in your lower back. Drop your chin to your chest. Pull the belly in. And really slowly, slower than you've ever done it before. One vertebra at a time. Feet are going to stay on the mat. Use that strong core to lower yourself. Lower back. Middle back. Shoulder blades. Upper back. Neck and arms coming overhead, reaching long. Take a stretch. And then hugging both knees into the chest, taking a little rock from side to side. And then bringing your feet to the mat, quite close to your bottom. We're going to take a very brief shoulder stand. If you don't want to do it today, just come to lying in Shavasana. If you think, I do want a bit of a shoulder stand, first of all, slide your shoulder blades together and underneath your upper back. And then pull the belly in. As you inhale, just bring those feet up. Drop the knees to the forehead. Walk your elbows in closer, hands either side of the spine. And then coming up into your pose. Don't turn your head. Don't look at me, just focus on your pose. We're just going to stay here for a few seconds. If you want to bring your feet overhead into a plough pose, you can. I think I'm likely to kick my vase of flowers over, so I'm not going to do that today. Enjoy the legs up, maybe bringing the feet wide, maybe doing a little bit of a split rotation with the legs, dancing in the air, whatever is going to feel good for you. And then bringing your knees to your forehead, using your hands as brakes, lowering yourself down, one vertebra at a time. Give the knees one more little hug, one more little rock and roll, massaging the lower back. And then setting up for your Shavasana. Legs long to the corners of the mat, arms by your side, palms facing up. Tuck the chin a little bit, let the feet drop out, and just relax your legs, relax your arms, your shoulders, your back, your hips, relax your face. Focusing on the breath. Focus on relaxing the shoulders. And then gently starting to roll your head from one side to the other side. Really softly and gently. Start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. And drawing the legs together, reaching the arms overhead, long arms, reaching, stretch the left side, the right side, and then gathering your knees into the chest. One last hug. Lift your head, lift your shoulders. Can you touch your knees with your nose now? I hope you can. Rolling to one side, using your hands to press up to your comfortable cross-legged seat, hands to heart center. Eyes can stay closed. Take a deep breath in. And exhale through the mouth. Relax the shoulders. Inhale. And exhale, relax the shoulders. Hands to the third eye, to heart center. And namaste, lovely yogis.